With reaction, Texas Senator Ted Cruz. Senator, first question, do you agree with me that my premise here, they can't run on anything that they're successful at, anything that they've done to improve the country? So I say they've got three things. January 6th, hating Donald Trump. They got the usual playbook, Republicans are racist and sexist and xenophobic. And January 6th, and that's about it, an abortion.
Sean, you're exactly right. If you look at the issues that are racking the country, that are hurting Americans across the country, you have, number one, inflation. The Democrats have no plan for inflation other than to make it worse, to spend trillions more and drive inflation up even more. Gas prices, they have no plan to reduce gas prices other than to make it worse by hammering American oil and gas production. Crime, they have no plan to reduce crime other than to make it worse by continuing to support radical leftist DAs and leftists who try to undermine, defund, or abolish the police. And illegal immigration, they have no plan to stop. They don't want to stop. Their plan is more illegal immigration, more chaos at the border. And so their only political strategy, which you can see their cronies in the corporate media leaning in on, is distraction. They want to scream Donald Trump all day long because there is nothing on planet Earth they hate more than Donald J. Trump. They want to unleash corrupt partisans at the Department of Justice and the FBI to go after Donald Trump to try to distract people. And they want to send Joe Biden up to give the most divisive and hateful speech we have seen a president give in our lifetimes, calling half of the country fascists. They're hoping to scare people into showing up and voting for an agenda that's failing. And what's amazing, they don't plan to change. They don't promise change. They promise more of the same disastrous policy agenda.
All right, so in 2016, the media mob, they played a big part in the election. They peddled Hillary Clinton's bought and paid for dirty Russian dossier. In 2020, they pushed the narrative that Hunter Biden's laptop was nothing but Russian disinformation. It was anything but. Now the question is, you are a debate champ at Harvard. Alan Dershowitz once said on this program, you were one of the smartest students he ever had the honor of teaching. So you have an ability to debate, and you're really good at it. Others do not have the same skills that you do. When the media comes after any Republican candidate or conservative candidate, and they go after these three issues, can you please teach some of your colleagues, because I've watched some of them and they need help, please teach them the art of pivoting away from what they want to talk about, which is everyday Donald Trump, everyday abortion, and move on to the issues that are impacting this country.
Sean, you are preaching to the choir. We need to be positive, affirmative with our message. We need to be happy warriors. The angrier they get, the more we should laugh and be joyful because their agenda doesn't work. And you're right. The Democrats and the stooges in the corporate media, they just want to repeat the attacks. And it's a real mistake when you see Republicans that will have a long discussion about this particular attack or that particular attack, rather than just going on affirmatively. Our solutions. Look, what do people want? People want jobs with good wages. People want their families to be safe and secure. People want their rights protected. That is a common sense agenda that the overwhelming majority of Americans agree with. And so the corporate media doesn't want to talk about it at all. It's our responsibility to lean in and explain, listen, was America better a couple of years ago when we had the lowest unemployment rate in 50 years, or is it better now when people are hurting across this country? Was America better when gas was $2 a gallon or $4 a gallon under Joe Biden? Was America better when we had the lowest rate of illegal immigration in 45 years, which is what it was the last year of the Trump presidency? Or is America better now with utter chaos and 4.2 million people coming across the border illegally? It ain't complicated. Everybody knows. There isn't a Democrat out there that can defend this policy failure. And so they count on the media just to change the topic. We need to not fall for it. We need to instead urge the American people, if you don't like the path we're on, we can change the path in November. And Sean, mark my words, the media are trying to convince Americans suddenly the Democrats are surging in November. What utter garbage. Republicans are going to win the House and we're going to win the Senate. And I can tell you, between now and Election Day, I am on the road nonstop campaigning for Senate candidates and House candidates, because we're going to come in with big majorities to start the work of turning the country around.
Senator, I hope you're right. And are you better off than you were since Joe Biden's been president? Based on any measure you can make, I don't see we're better off in any way, shape, manner, and form. Now, Kevin McCarthy, I was there. I was the MC the night that Newt Gingrich became Speaker of the House. He had a contract with America. That's 28 years ago. And I'm getting old, Senator. And anyway, but he's coming out with commitments for America. I don't know why, and I'm not being critical of Mitch McConnell here. As of now, he has not embraced the idea of the Senate doing it as well. I would like to see the Senate do it. If Mitch doesn't want to do it, then I assume the individual candidates can sign on to it. There's something about a pledge, a promise in writing that I think sends a powerful message that you mean it and you're going to get it done. And if you don't, you're going to be held accountable.
Listen, I agree, and I will say there's a division of thought in Washington. There's some people who have been in Washington a long time that think the way you win elections is just you don't stand for anything. You don't engage on issues. I think that's exactly backwards. I think the way you win elections is you draw a line in the sand. I think the way you win elections is you say, these are the stakes, and here's what I will do when we win. And when you're clear and when you follow through on your promises, that's what makes people show up to vote. And so every candidate out there that is campaigning on specific, clear promises that they intend to follow through, I salute them. But I'll tell you, once we win, you and I both know that the battle is not over on November 8th. That once we have a majority, we need to do something with the majority. And so that's why I'm fighting not just to win in November, but to elect strong conservatives that will then have the guts. And let me tell you one of the things that we ought to commit to do. Every single Republican ought to say, we will not vote to fund these 87,000 new IRS agents. We're not going to fund Biden's army to harass Americans, and we're going to take that money and put it on our southern border to secure our border. That ought to be a promise every Republican gets behind now, and that we follow through on when we have the majorities next year.
Senator Ted Cruz, Texas, thank you. All right, so Joe Biden.